Hello, I am Catherine Avery, and I am the coordinator for programs and services here at the Charlotte Mason Institute.
And I'm Sarah Stabenow, CMI's marketing coordinator.
So, Sarah, we both answer and see a lot of questions about Alveary in our positions. So, let's talk about some of those questions that come to us most frequently.
Yes, and if we don't cover one of your questions, check out our FAQs on our website or contact the Alveary team. We'd love to talk with you further. Okay, let's start with the basics. What does the word Alveary even mean?
So, one meaning of the word is beehive, and another has a sense of repository of knowledge. And we really resonated with both of those meanings because Charlotte Mason's practicing school in Ambleside was located in a small stone building with a hexagonal cupola, which was affectionately called the Beehive. It was a place where teachers in training would observe master teachers and then start practicing teaching their own lessons with the village children. So when the Charlotte Mason Institute team originally was thinking of a name for our curriculum and teacher training program, they thought Alveary really captured our vision and just embodied that idea of spreading a relational education to all students and educators in every setting. And then when we think about what our members get access to as far as becoming an Alveary member, we think about it as a repository of knowledge because membership provides not only detailed daily lesson plans, book lists, supply lists, and exams, but a large collection of videos, lectures, articles, blogs, and original sources to help you practice a relational education with confidence and peace.
That's such a fun background story to the name.
It's true. And another question you've been hearing, I think, a lot is whether Alveary is designed for home educators or classroom educators. And you're a home educator yourself. So yes, Alveary is for parents educating at home. But let's talk a little bit more about this question.
Yeah, a lot of members who use Alveary are parents teaching their students at home, just like me. But we also have a lot of co-ops, hybrid schools that meet 3 or 4 days a week, and full-time schools using Alveary with students as well. I keep up with social media quite a bit in my role and see a lot of people using Alveary really successfully in these different settings.
Yeah, and the principles of Charlotte Mason's relational education are really the same regardless of the setting. We still practice narration, we go outside, we're still exposing students to living books. So the fundamentals are the same. And even though narration might look a little bit different in a group context versus with one child, it's still basically the same. And we also have all of our lesson plan writers, we tell them to keep it in mind as they're writing their lessons so that the lessons are easily adaptable to both home and classroom contexts. And another question, which you see a lot, is about our release dates. So can you talk a little bit more about when we release our content each year?
Absolutely. We open registration and release our program. That includes our book lists for the coming year and scheduling materials on February 1st. Then our lesson plans are published on June 1st each year. Memberships last until June 30th of the following year. So you get the longest access to our video tutorials, office hour chats, Hive community, and more by joining closer to February 1st. You've already mentioned it a bit, but let's talk more about what's included in a membership, since that's also a common question.
So you can think about Alveary membership in 3 main categories: curriculum, training, and community. As far as curriculum, we've already mentioned our detailed daily lesson plans, but membership gives you access to all lesson plans for every subject for grades 1 through 12, as well as our before age 6 guide for younger children as well. This gives you a lot of flexibility. So if you have a student who really loves science, you could slot them in the grade above. Or if you've already read a book that's scheduled, you could pick the book scheduled for the grade below or above and substitute that. Or if maybe you're teaching several students that are close in age and you're looking for a lesson plan that will suit them all. You don't have to buy a new curriculum to figure things out. You don't have to piece it all together because you already have access to over 140 different lesson plan sets, all in the Alveary. And each of those sets includes not only the daily lesson plans, but narration ideas, exams, extra helpings to dig deeper, and more.
Yes. And as far as training, I mentioned all the guides, video tutorials, office hours, and articles that are available to help members learn and grow in understanding Mason's relational principles and practices.
Right. And then our Alveary Hive community provides that collaborative camaraderie and support with other like-minded educators. So for $2.99, which works out to be $25 a month, you get access to everything. All you need is books, supplies, and students to start educating.
Since you mentioned books, I'm asked frequently about the mix of classic versus newer books in the Alveary. It really varies depending on the time frame we're studying, but generally it's roughly 50% classics and 50% newer books. That mix makes sure students have plenty of exposure to classic literature, but also enjoy some newer treasures and learn from books with up-to-date information, which is especially important in areas like science and geography, where we've learned so much more in recent years.
Yeah, and we do make sure to use only books that are currently in print, so members don't have to pay wildly inflated prices for those used books. So we're really grateful when publishers start republishing some of those older gems that we love. Which reminds me, the cost of books and supplies is another question we get up quite frequently.
Yeah, and it's really hard to nail down an answer because it depends so much on what grade or grades you're teaching, whether you buy new or used books or borrow them from the library, and how many students you're teaching, and so on. There are quite a few books and supplies like atlases, hymnals, and paints that last for multiple years. So after the first year, the cost really decreases. But we do talk about a relational education as a feast. So we do read a fair number of books. I'd encourage people to watch our book preview videos to get a specific idea of the book list of the year.
Yeah, and we try to keep a good balance of both books and things, as Mason said. So I know some who are new can be a little surprised at the various things we have for handicrafts or science or art. But we also give members a lot of tips for how to strategically plan, whether that's spreading purchases out over the year or planning to have some of them be Christmas or birthday gifts, or substituting with things that you already have. And also, a lot of our members come up with really creative ideas and share them with others in the Alveary Hive as well.
Yeah, I do love the balance between reading and hands-on learning. It really does come together beautifully.
Well, I know that there are a lot of other questions out there, but we've covered a lot in our time together. And if your question wasn't answered, I'd encourage you to visit our Alveary YouTube channel to see if it was answered in another video, and also to visit our website, which has more FAQs and answers to them, as well as curriculum samples.
You'll find our contact information on Alveary's website, where you can email in your question, and you can also message us on our social media channels. We hope to hear from you soon.